with you guys in 1 second. How's everyone doing? What I have for you guys today is something a little bit different than I usually do. I have all my vintage computers out here, and I want to show you guys some of them. This is basically how I spend my days, for the most part, is collecting vintage computers, and when I'm not collecting them, I'm fixing them up, or I'm working on them, or I'm doing something or another with them. So today that's what I want to do, is I want to show you guys them. So please excuse the mess of my room. It looks pretty bad right now. I mean, I'm sure it's nothing compared to most of your guys' rooms, but could be better. But anyway, I have all of these here, plus a special little extra toward the end. So I guess we'll start over here with the IBM Model 25. So basically, this one, it's quite a beast. It's pretty large, as you can see, compared to my hand. I mean, it's not like, it could be a lot bigger, but for 1986, this was IBM's pretty much computer. It was a lower end computer, certainly, but it was still very expensive at the time. So I believe I have it plugged in. Yes, I do. I have all the mice and all the keyboard and all the good stuff hooked up, and I'm going to be turning it on and kind of showing you guys a little bit more about it. So here we go. The power switch is right under here. I believe it's red. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's a red power switch. IBM always had a great way of making even turning on your computer very, very satisfying. So just listen to this. That's like the best feeling in the world right there, is turning on an IBM computer. It just sounds so great. You have to love that. So believe this thing has, let's see how much RAM it has. Not in the gigabytes, not in the megabytes, in the kilobytes. 640 kilobytes. Beeps to let you know it posted and it's ready to use. So this is actually booting from a CF card, a compact flash card, right here. Wait for that to focus. There we go. A 2 gigabyte compact flash card, which just slides in and out. It's a little adapter card, an expansion card that was put in there whenever I bought it, so it boots from a compact flash card. So anyway, if you know anything about DOS, you'll know what I'm doing, but it's hard to do with one hand. Let's see what I got on here. The dir command specifies, or it shows the directory. I could actually have done this a lot easier. 1 second. Yeah, there's a lot on here. Dir /W will show it in a wide angle. Whoops. That's the thing with these computers. Okay, there we go. They freeze and they stall and they're all crazy on you. So yes, this is the Africa Check computer, by the way, that I used, in case you guys are wondering, for that video. So, you know, you got the DOS folder, you got a little bit of everything on here. I have some games on here. No internet browser installed for DOS, but I do have a RJ45, an Ethernet, wherever it is. Oh yeah, there we go. An Ethernet port there that was installed aftermarket. Hold on, I'll try to get a good view of that. Right there. It's kind of hard to see. This is like the crappiest lighting ever, but also on here we have Windows 3.0 installed, which makes things a lot more. For the Windows directory, you type in Win, and there you go. Microsoft Windows version 3.0. Copyright 1990. 1985, 1990. So, in case you were wondering, this mouse is like the suckiest mouse I've ever used in my life. Given its age, it's perfectly fine. It's just that it's so uncomfortable to use. Like, It's like the worst, but we're gonna use it. Anyway, here's some Windows 3.0 action going on. Yeah, it's a good sound. Sounds great. If I can get the mouse to move, this is like the worst mouse pad ever. It's a speaker. So, yeah, we got our games that come pre-installed. I didn't have any games I wanted to put on here as of now, but I mean, everything about Battlelord Zero, everything about the 80s was satisfying technology-wise, to me at least. There are these people that would say, oh, 80s technology was the worst. We've come so far already, but I still like to look back in the past and kind of enjoy where it started. So we got our main folder here. Windows was like the first. It wasn't the first graphical user interface that was mainly in use. It was the first one that was mainly in use, actually, that people adapted to and liked to enjoy using. It wasn't very expensive either, which was a plus. So here we got our file manager, which is very similar to it's like a graphical version of DOS, the dir command. It's pretty nice to have just a user interface that you can navigate around on pretty easily. I mean, there wasn't much to this, so it was pretty great. That's why one thing I hate about vintage technology is how it holds up. You just got to keep it healthy and nice and working okay. If it will move, sometimes you got to shake up the ball in there a little bit. But yeah, this is a nice machine. It's actually really really sturdy and feels just absolutely solid. Like it's very nice to use, except for the mouse, of course. So let me shut down this one and we will move on to, well, I'm just going to show you something over there real quick. Just tell you a little story. This will end your Windows session. I probably don't want to save changes now. From the Windows, I'm not sure about this, but from the Windows graphical user interface, you don't want to just turn the switch off. You could lose some valuable stuff you're working on, but from the DOS command line, you can just turn it off like that, and everything's saved. So that's good. The IBM Personal System 2, so PS2 Model 25. That's a solid computer right there, an absolute unit. How about I just come over here? This is the heavily yellowed Apple IIC Monitor. Yay! From 1984. Yes, 1984. This thing is... Whenever I went to the flea market to pick it up, or the antique store, I should say, to pick it up, I had it in my line of, like, vision, in my view, and I didn't even recognize what it was at first. It was just so small. Like, this thing is tiny. I didn't realize that it would be this small. It's actually not even very wide. It's about a little wider than my finger span there. But yeah, this thing's very small. It turns on, works perfectly fine. It's just, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's very yellowed. But hopefully I can get it fixed up and working. It does look like Karen. I agree. It's a striking resemblance. But this would be paired with an Apple IIC. If you're not familiar with that, look it up, but I'm pretty sure if you're here, you know what the Apple IIC is, and if you don't, that's okay. Just look it up. It would go under here, and you would connect it to this monitor, and you'd have your nice little setup right there. So that is the Apple IIC monitor that I picked up at the, I guess it was an antique store more than a flea market. So we have that. We have a old TV in the back. I'm not really going to get into much detail with that. Now, we have my pretty much amazing, great condition, awesome, epic Macintosh SE. Now, this is the, let's see, like the fourth, fifth, or sixth Macintosh. I'm not gonna think about this right now. Like, it's gonna hurt my head, but this is like in the middle of the Macintosh line, I think. But anyway, I have it plugged in, I believe. This one is really great. Oh god, it's heavy, but it's one of my favorites I have. It's just an absolutely beautiful machine. Here, I'll show you something real quick. I actually do have an expansion card in here, but it's disconnected because it was not allowing it to boot up. We have our, what are they called, ADB connectors, which is like their version of USB. We got their printer connector, the modem connector, and the headphone jack. We have the external floppy disk connector and the parallel port. And we have a little thing that you could lock this computer up to like a desk or something. You could like keep it from being stolen. The power in, and we have the power switch. So keep in mind, this did not come on every single Macintosh SE that you would find. This is a probably very expensive add-on you could get. But without further ado, give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab this, move it over here, and put the Macintosh's mouse on it. I will be right back. Just can't do it with one hand. So we have the Macintosh SE all good, ready to boot up. I think this should do it. Nope. Oh, that's right. It has to be actually turned on. Yeah, that sounds nice. You can hear the hard drive spinning up. Kind of. It should come up with the Happy Mac icon. If it doesn't, I'm screwed. Yeah, there we go. That's a great sound. Welcome to Macintosh. We got our, what is it called? Extensions coming up there. I just fixed this mouse. One of the little rollers in here wasn't working. I tore it apart. That's why the sticker on the bottom is missing, but I took it apart and got it working. It was only like scrolling up and down before, but now I can go on all directions and it's perfectly fine. So it's still booting up here. Just give it 1 second. Yeah, this was upgraded. I actually had the standard 1 megabyte of RAM in here before. It is now up to 4. That little, I had another expansion card other than that, this little VGA one. It had a second one in there, which had extra RAM. I guess it was to make, so in all I had like 5 megabytes of RAM in here. But I ended up just taking the 4 out of the, out of that expansion card and putting it in there. So now I have, instead of 1 megabyte, well, I could have had 5, but I have 4 now, which is still pretty good. Yeah, this is Mac OS 6.0.7, as you can see right there. So, yeah, this is actually a very fun system to use. I really enjoy just using it. You can't really do much on it nowadays, but there's a lot of stuff that you still can do that provides sufficient entertainment to keep you entertained for a while. I got, Mac 3D, Mac Paint, Mac Write. This is actually pretty cool. Check this out. It's called Steve Jobs. Remember, this thing's slow as anything, but like, that's pretty cool. Someone took the time to actually do this on here before I had purchased it. Like, who has time for this? Like, that's awesome. I mean, you have to admit, the amount of time that it took to probably make that is incredible. I don't know if it was, like, just automatically generated from an image or something, but still, that's pretty darn cool. This computer, the old Mac OS, you couldn't just click on something. You had to click, drag down, and let go. But that's how things were, and you gotta appreciate where everything came from. MusicWorks is a pretty fun program. You can create your own songs, well, that's about it. You can create your own songs, but it's a great little system, a great little program here. Actually, I'm going to show you a pre-generated song called Electro One. It's pretty cool. Wait for that to load up. I think the volume's all the way up, so this should sound loud enough. That sounds pretty cool. Sounds wonderful. Sounds like music to my ears. Except it's not. So, let's quit out of that. This computer's like, it's just so great. You have to love everything about this. Mac 3D is pretty cool. It's a basic 3D rendering software here. It's so cool how far we've come with technology. Let's let that load up. It's taking forever. I remember using this kind of stuff at my great-grandmother's house. Yes, that's... Well, where I first found any sort of old computer wasn't at my grandparents' house, but it was at, I don't even know where I came in contact with my first old computer. I just knew I loved them as soon as I saw them. But basically this program, it's pretty cool. You can make 3D objects like so. And it takes forever, but eventually you have a 3D object right here. Very primitive, of course, but can't really do much else. Sorry for the screen flicker. If you're not familiar with old computers, basically the screen's refreshing a lot slower than the camera's refreshing. I think that's how it works, and it's not able to keep up, and it's just totally flickering like crazy, like so. Usually it flickers a lot faster because my camera lens is a lot faster, or the camera whenever I record. Now if you have a Mac, you'll realize that the shutdown icon's over here in underneath the Apple logo. Well, things have changed a lot. It's underneath Special. Up until like Mac OS 9, the last version of Mac OS 9, I think it was still under Special. But we'll shut this baby down and move on to the next one. So you may now switch off your Macintosh safely. This is also a very satisfying button. Or switch on and off. Listen to that. That sounds great. Next in line, we have... Well, first of all, make sure to stay to the end. I have a pretty rare computer I want to show you guys that I just picked up for really cheap. I still can't believe I found it. Made a few mods to it. It's pretty nice, but I'll show you that at the end, so stick around. Right here we have the Dell Latitude D620, as you can see right there. It's from... I don't know, I'll check for you guys real quick, actually. It should say on the bottom. It ran XP Professional, so it's probably around the mid-2000s. I'm guessing. 2000s. So let's plug this baby in. I'm not sure which one this is. I have a few of these that were donated from my family. Or not donated, but I got them from my family members. Not sure which one this is. It has a battery in it. So I guess we'll see. See ya, Battlelord Zero. Have a good night. So yes, out of all the ones I have, this is the only one with the battery, and could run without a battery as long as it's plugged in, but this actually has pretty good battery life on it. So we shall see which one this is. Still coming up. Still loading. Yes, computers were this slow in 2006. Come on. Like, seriously. Just load. There we go. Windows XP Professional by Microsoft. Gotta make sure to throw that useless little sponsor in there. There we go. Now, even at this time, a trackpad was pretty nice to have. I mean, most every computer had a trackpad by then, but before that, we just had little trackballs, which was, I think, implemented by Apple. Don't quote me on that, but I think it was implemented by Apple. I think it was Apple's kind of thing. This is, I'm not even sure which one this is, but I know it has a lot of viruses on it, which is great. Like, that's wonderful. Obviously, Windows X, yeah, it's great. Windows XP Professional was great because you got the administrative tools. Shut up, software updater. You got all the tools you needed. You got everything you needed to be an efficient administrator. Did you know you have free PC backup on your? Ugh, I'm not even gonna bother using this one. Regular backups will help protect your files in the event of a hard drive crash. All right, goodbye. Next, we have a ThinkPad. Which one is this? A ThinkPad X series. My good friend Sebastian, owner of Sebi's Random Tech, totally just sold this one to me, and it's pretty nice. It's the X61, as you can see right there. So it's very small, as you can tell, but we're gonna power this on and see what's on here. I think I left Windows 10 on here, which runs okay considering this computer's from around the same time as this one is. All right, what do you want? Uh-oh. Well, that's not necessarily a good thing. I think it means the hard drive came disconnected, which means I just have to unscrew this and push it back in there, but I don't have time for that, so it's just Windows 10. You're all familiar with that. Okay. The last computer I have to show you guys, after I show you this really cool green floppy disk, is, drum roll, more drum roll, it is the iBook G3 clamshell with a homemade ghetto Apple logo. Yes, this is the clamshell you've all heard about, the special edition one with the fire latch right here. It's held, even for today's standards, it's from like 2000, so it has a good, has a good amount of years in all of these, even these ones. But yeah, it's a pretty sweet computer. It's still very usable. Other than internet, you can't really get on the Wi-Fi very easily on here. Even with the airport card installed, it's still incredibly hard to get on anything useful on this computer. But hey, it's pretty cool. Plug this bad boy in and get it turned on. I think you guys are going to like this one. It's running Mac OS X 10.1, I believe. Initially, I bought this on eBay as non-working because this little port wasn't working, but lo and behold, I found a way to fix it. So let's turn this bad boy on and see what noise it makes. Hopefully it makes a positive noise, like not some bad error noise. If my camera will refocus. Come on, there you go. Let's go. I'm gonna put the camera right next to the speaker so you guys can hear this. It's really sweet. Wait a second. Ah, that's it. So this should turn on. The screen should light up in a second. This computer did not initially come with a glowing Apple logo on the back, although it was thought to have supposed to come with one, I believe, but it was covered up with a piece of sheet metal. But anyway, I have something kind of neat to show you guys. It does have one. I removed the sheet metal, and from the backlight, it actually lights up the Apple logo on the back, which is pretty cool. Yeah, booting up right now. It was still like the Mac OS X font was like the same as the font they'd used since the 80s. So nothing much had changed from, except the technology, but their style of branding and all that good stuff hadn't changed too much. So, oh, and one thing I forgot to mention, one thing I forgot to mention is this trackpad doesn't work because I stupidly ripped the cable on accident. So the trackpad doesn't work, but I'll get that fixed. We have our sign-in right here. So I'm going to grab this mouse right here off my desktop. And we are going to plug into the single USB 1.1 port here. I believe this is it, yeah. And there we go, we have life. Let's log in there. Yay, there we go. We have, notice, this mouse is so good. It's a Logitech G502, I think. Yeah, G502 Hero. It's so good that it doesn't even need a mouse pad. I'm on a rug, and look at this. That's pretty good. Great craftsmanship, Logitech. So, let's go into the iBook hard drive, as I called it. Look at the applications, and see what we got. Yay, not much. We have Adobe Acrobat Reader, Calculator DVD player, image capture, which, notice the lack of a webcam. iMovie, which is actually very usable by today's standards. Came into play in, I think, macOS 9, but I do know that I like it. So we have internet installing it, so it's just going to come up with this simple error message after some spinning. And some more spinning. And a little bit more. And maybe it won't come up. That's even... Oh, I didn't click on it. Whoops. It's gonna say the wrong time because I think the CMOS battery in here must be dead. A little battery that keeps the clock and the dates up to date. I think it's dead, so if the clock decides... Oh, it's actually right here. Alright, I'm just gonna quit it. No use. I'm looking at upgrading to OS X 10.4, which was the highest, one of the highest OSs that this computer could support. That was Tiger, I believe. macOS 10.4, that was Tiger, yes. I think, I don't even know what I'm on now. Well, I know what I'm on, I don't know what it's called. I think it's Puma 10.1. Puma or something like that. Anyhow, that's pretty much all I have for you guys. All these cool computers here are the result of a collection that I started years ago, and I hope you guys really enjoyed everything I had to show you, and I hope that you took something from this and you learned a little something from this. But yeah, that's all I have to show you guys. Once again, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you all have a good night or good morning wherever it is, wherever you live. I hope you have a good one, and make sure to subscribe to Aussie Films and like this video for more content, and I will see you guys next time. So, goodbye. Whoops. What an absolute...